Hello and welcome back to Optus Void. I'm your host, Forgotten Void, and this week we are going over submarines in Ops. We're going to use the L-20 since, one, I'm grinding a sub and have been using it, and two, I believe the L-20 is one of the more difficult subs to use, so it's better to talk about it rather than a sub that's on the easier side to use like U4501, a German sub, or um, the British subs with only pinging torpedoes. So, um, submarines and ops, they get a few different bonuses. They get their speed is changed, and they have an extra equipment. So the extra equipment they get is the patrol bombers, so that they can actually target land facilities. Not that the patrol bombers are actually really good at targeting land facilities. I found this out in uh, Killer Whale when they just didn't target land facilities at all. So yeah, um, their whole purpose has been proven moot. Anyways, consumable. What I use for subs, we use the main battery mod one, um, damage control mod 3. Um, a sonar mod is an option, but we're using damage control mod 3. Use torpedoes for mod here. You just always use torpedoes. Submarine surveillance is a PvE one. The other option, I believe there's another option there, but maybe it's on different subs. Maybe it's not on the German sub, not on the Russian. Submarine steering gears, either propulsion or steering gears, doesn't really matter which one. You can go with either here. You use torpedo tube mod 3 here, and then in the slot 6 you use the torpedo tube reload. So this just is straight up damage so that your torps actually do more damage since you can't actually take concealment. Now, reinforced bulkheads is another option if you find that you're being depth charged a lot, but generally you just want to do more damage. We'll go to a tier 6. So in slot 6, you want to do the torpedo tube reload. Yes, you can have die capacity, but you want to have, in PvE, you want to have more damage per minute, so you want the reload. Back to the L-20. So the only flag that I really use is the ship HP flag. The others really don't really matter. If you want another one, I would go with the chance of causing flooding because the subs torpedoes actually have a pretty low chance of causing flooding compared to actual destroyer torpedoes, so that would be an option. And then the other one would be speed, but I'm not running either of these. We're just going base with a little bit extra HP for that extra survivability. Now on to captain skills. So there's a bunch of skills and they're really confusing because they may sound good like, hey, torpedo reload tube, but it says while your ship remains detected by an enemy. Any of these things that say if it's detected by an enemy, you just want to ignore. Those are useless skills. The last stand you don't need because there's really no steering gear or engine modules on the ship for some reason. So this is also a useless skill. The so the ones that are really good are the enlarged propeller shaft. This is a really, really, really good skill. Watchful, which lets you know if you're currently within the action range of an activated enemy hydroacoustic search or surveillance radar or submarine surveillance consumable. So if you change depth while those things are activated, then you will become detected. This is basically cheating. This is a cheat level skill. It's that It is that good. Honestly, I would put this at 5 points. It is that good, and I would still get it if it was a 5 point skill. Um, so other than that, let's see. We have dive capacity, a little bit more dive capacity. Yes, the recharge is down, but we need that extra dive capacity. Uh, we have the consumable preparations reload. This one's okay. This is more so that our DCP's ready. Uh, I haven't actually found that I've needed an extra DCP, so if you're playing PvP, maybe you need this because you have to use it for the fuel spills, but for PvE, I've found that you don't really need it. But Adrenaline Rush usually helps. Another one, so the Torpedo Aiming Master is good with the homing only, the people who use the submarines that use homing torps. This is really good. However, L-20 does not is has homing torps, but the homing torps is not its main feature, so we're not going to be using this. So if you're running a German or a British sub, this is something you want to do. For the American and the Russian subs and the Japanese subs, this is something that you don't need. This is uh, that's also something that's not really needed. And this is your charge rate for the first 50%. This isn't really needed. So really, it's your consumable skills. So your consumable action time, your consumable superintendent, your consumable reload, adrenaline rush, and possibly this helmsman. So you can use your hydrophone to get your diving and rudder shift to be better. So these are pretty much the skills that are good. And these skills are good for any sub, and then this one is specifically for the homing torpedo sub. If I was going to use the go up to 21 points, I would probably go there and go there. And then I'm good at 20 points actually. The other thing would be there. There's 21 points. So that's commander skills. With that, we will go ahead and hop into battle. So here we are. It's a mix of tier 8 and tier 9. So mixed tier 8, mixed tier 9. There is one division here. They are clan, 2 members of a clan. So that means that we're going to have the bigger ships here. As you can see, one other thing about the submarine is you actually get to manually control your gun. A little bit of late start here, but it's fine. We're just loading our torps anyways. So yes, L-20 has a manually controlled gun, but it's not. So this is that is actually the when you have to use the map to call out the fighters, and you click them in. And so when you use the map, it gets you have the range of where you can put the fighter, and then you place the fighter there. And so that way it allows us to actually be the spotter for the destroyer, while the carrier goes after the battleship. And so we're actually going to go underwater here because we don't want to be spotted by the Azuma. I put out those 2 torps for the battleship just in case. I should have just done one there and one for the Azuma just in case. So as you see with our torps, 3 hit, that's 10k per torp. No, a little bit more than 10k per torp, but it's 41k damage total. Uh, no, it's 10k for torque because I forgot we got 10k on bombs at the outer Gumo. So with L-20, you really want to use the the standard torpedoes, not the homing, because the homings only have 5,000 damage before you have um, that's it. The torpedo protection is brought into account. So these were 16k, and then you had nearly 30% torpedo reduction on the battleship. And Sub is absolutely now the better spotter than CV, because CV has to have that travel time between the carrier and the planes, whereas Sub, you just say, oh, we'll just move our thing up and click and bring some planes over there. So it's real quick, and we got 7k damage for it. So Clausewitz is the one I don't like because it has the 7 kilometer hydro. And hydroacoustic search spots ships on surface and at periscope depth at max range. At 30 meters, it spots them at 2 kilometers. So I'm going to try for the Yoshino. I'm going to try for the Clausewitz. And then we're going to use our rear tubes and we're going to try for the Azuma. So we're going to aim. We're aiming ahead of the white line for the Azuma because I expect it to turn and speed up. I should have done the same thing with Clausewitz, but I didn't. I put them on the white line. And now we're going to slow down. So we're kind of in a good position. And the Yoshina slowed down. Is Clausewitz going to get those torps? Is Clausewitz going to get those torps? Yeah! Oh, never mind. Okay, good. We got all 3 torps on the Clausewitz, and we had 1 torpedo on the Azuma.
Raptor, Task Force Commander here.
And I'm going to put the planes back up. So if you notice, that's a replay bug. It chooses where your mouse actually is to put the symbol, whereas in game you'll actually be able to use the mouse to point where you want to shoot your torps. And we're going to go to homing torps because I don't want to miss. And now we're on Hydro, so this is why we go down to 30. So right now I have the non-upgraded. I have since upgraded the torp homing, the ping. So now it's 15 seconds instead of 17 seconds. We get it? No, they passed by the Yoshino. And so we actually have to use homing torpedoes here in this situation because we are at 30 meters, because the the non-homing torpedoes will not rise to the surface. They will just go in a straight line at whatever level you drop them off at. So you drop them off at periscope depth, they stay at standard. And so they just said, nope, you're not allowed to have normal torpedoes at non-periscope depth. Okay, so the hydro has gone out. I could actually surface if I wanted to, but there's torpedoes going over. Okay, not surface. I could go up to periscope depth, but I don't. I should have actually pinged there, because now Clausewitz slows down and actually jukes out my torps. And that's why you want to ping the center of ships, not the nose or the bow, because the center makes it hard for the ships to dodge the torps. Like there.
Низкий заряд батареи.
Ping is cleared because the ship is down. So now we're going to go back to the surface. So you see the propeller symbol has popped up. This means that we have the large propeller shaft. Now another thing, as you notice, one thing that you do is you ping a target, let them throw the deep CP, then you ping them again with your torpedoes in them. Your torpedoes either in the water, or depending on how close you are, you wait for the second ping to hit and then you throw out your torpedoes. Hey, our planes do more spotting. So now I see that the enemy is over there. So instead of running around the map, I'm going to move to where I see the enemy has been spotted. In this case, that means it's north, which means that the next set of enemies is either over there. I hope it's over here. Maybe I can do more damage over here. Or it's over here and I get nothing. But we are going to move, so these ships will move down south and then go to intercept there. So we're going to get into position to intercept and protect our carrier. The planes you want to use as much as possible, because who knows how much damage. As you see, we have 12 bomb hits already. With the non-German submarines, you want to have them always reloading. German torpedoes, you can throw all the torps and they'll be reloading. With the non-Germans, you want to send out half your torpedoes at a time, unless you think it'll take all of your torpedoes to sink a target. So if you're just guessing, you don't want to send out all your torpedoes, you want to send out half of them. So here we are, we're going to go down to periscope. We were able to get one torpedo hit. If we had sent out all of our torpedoes, we might have hit 2. So we're going to guess here. And so as long as you have 3 reloading, it doesn't matter if you hold your other 2 or not. So like the other 2 we held for a little bit just in case. We want them on the Yoshino. And there's Mogami. I was actually having lag spikes in game like this. Yeah, this is something I had. But we're able to get the Yoshino. Since we're being detected by planes, I see it's at 83 HP. I say we're not going to even try for torpedo. We're just going to take it out with our guns. So when they're at that low, that's when you use your guns. Oh no, torpedoes, whatever shall I do? Just go down. And they'll pass harmlessly overhead. And so here you can actually see the one thing about the torpedoes for the subs. You can actually see where the torpedo marker is, and the triangle is at the back of the torpedo. Okay, so there we put planes, and we're gonna put we put them right over there. And we get another bomb hit. So we were lucky in this one that we don't have to travel very far. We just have to. We kind of stayed at spawn because that's where all the enemies kept going. I'm not saying this is always the best idea, but I'm saying that's how it worked out for us. So I want the Clausewitz. Throw 3 torpedoes at the Clausewitz. We're going to turn around. You don't actually have to use your aft torpedoes. I do because it gives me time. I didn't realize how close the Mogami was. I do because it gives me time to reload all the front torpedoes. And, the rear torpedoes have, there we go, Azuma. And now, see, we're at, There we go. We're not detected anymore. We get one torpedo on Clausewitz. We were at periscope depth and we were detected by Clausewitz. So now we're going to move back up. Now that we've moved away. I should have actually turned in for the Mogami here, but I didn't because I wanted the Clausewitz gone. So I could have actually turned in for the Mogami. Instead, we're going to use planes and try and get this Clausewitz. That's my mistake. Because I'm back on Hydro for the Clausewitz because I'm at surface level. And there we go. We threw all 6 of the Clausewitz because I wanted dead. We're going to go down to 30 meters to get off the Hydro. You see it says we're in detection range because the Hydro is currently active. Move back up. I'm gonna try to get the Mogami here. Throw a spread of 3 torpedoes, and Mogami is not going to survive. Here I actually try to surface to use my guns again. Bang! And we get a non-penetration. We almost had another gun kill with... Almost. But we hit something that had more... We had to hit something that had 30 millimeters of armor because this only penetrates 29. Because it's a 100 millimeter gun. A 100 millimeter gun that has is a nice 5-second reload. But... yeah. It doesn't have the good penetration. So we're going back in. We have 2 enemies sunk, and there's a carrier still left alive, meaning that, well, mostly because we have 2 left alive, 2 sunk, that there's not going to be much. Sorry, the teleport spots are going to spawn in one at a time, is what I mean to say. So there we go. We drop off our bombs over there. How many do we get on Yoshino? 3 bombs, 9K. All the way over here. So this is actually a big problem with subs is their range. So that's why you have the handicap for the your speed. You have a handicap with throwing bombs out. Is you just don't have the damage output or the range that all the other enemies have. Or I mean, enemies. Well, yes, the enemies also have the range, but the other players. Yes, by enemies I mean your teammates, because sometimes it feels like they are your enemies. In this case, the team is actually fairly decent and is killing stuff. I mean, okay, not really. 2 are dead, including the carrier. They let the destroyers come close. I don't feel like leading, so we're just going to throw all of those homing torpedoes out. Which, again, probably was not the best idea, because homing torpedoes have a speed of 71 knots, which I realized at this point, like, they're going really slow, whereas the non-homing torps have a speed of 77 knots. And this is just the Russian subs. In all others, it's the opposite, where the non-homing are slower and the homing are faster. But in the Russian subs, the homing are slow and the non-homing are fast. The Russian subs are the weird ones that When I say weird, they're the better ones because they are focused on your non-homing torpedoes. So in PvP, this is kind of the sub that you're generally that people want to face because they don't really ping. But it's also the sub that if played right, you'll never know where it is because it will not get spotted. It'll be underwater when it needs to be. It'll be getting the battery up when it doesn't need to be, and it will only use the non-homing torpedoes. We're top of the team. Bismarck actually did decent over there. Our tier 9's not so much. Here we at the top. 20 torpedo hits, 16 bomb hits. So you're not going to get a lot of ribbons running subs. You so any of the ribbon missions for subs, just ignore those. But on base XP, you generally get a boosted base XP. It's probably 25 to 50% of what you should be getting. Maybe it's even more. Maybe it could be up to 100%. So it's anywhere between 25 and 100% base XP multiplier. We know there's a multiplier. We just don't know how much it is. When I say we, I mean the player base. People who pay attention to this stuff. We know there is. No one's really gone in to try and figure it out. And wargaming being wargaming keeps it secret in hidden numbers. So damage caused ships. We actually had a 30% torpedo hit rate, which isn't bad considering a lot of ours were non-homing. 3 shots fired, 2 hit, 1 damage for 83 that killed our Mogami. So 2 torpedoes for 26k and 1 sap shell for 83. And there we go, 5 torpedo hits for 60k. 3 torpedoes for 39k. And 3 bombs for 5k. So those are the good torpedoes. 3 torpedo kits for 3k. Yoshino, there we go. We have 3 torpedoes for 11k. So you notice 3 torpedoes for 11k versus 3 for 40k or 3 for 30k. That's why you really want to use the non-homing torpedoes on L-20. Or usually you want to use the non-homing torpedoes whenever possible because they do that much more damage. The British and Germans, you're fine using the homing torpedoes because they have the German non-homing torpedoes have a range of 6 kilometers. It's really hard to use those. Whereas the homing ones have much larger, and British are only homing torpedoes. As for credits and XP, we are running Green Booster. So with a Green Booster and premium account, we get 400k credits. Not that bad. With the not premium and a Green Booster, it's still an earnings of 200k. Experience, we're actually using a blue booster here. So that's 25k from the blue booster. So 3k base and then 25 with the booster to get a total of 28k, which means it doesn't take that many battles to go through, even with the 350k experience that you need. Believe I'm only at this point in time, after playing it some more today, just 1 or 2 battles away from getting the tier 10. So I have that. I do have some other subs, as if you saw on the screen. With that, for next week, please comment below. Let me know if you want to see I haven't actually posted a video for the last week of the World War II ops. I do have a recording for it. It's not great, but I do have a recording for it. If you want to see that, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll just do another video, or I will do a poll like usual about what ship that people want to see now that we've discussed subs in ops. Um, with that, if you like this video, thumbs up. If you want to see more videos as they come out, click that subscribe button. You don't have to, just helps me. That said, I do hope to see you again next week. Have a good one.